1 weeks. Now, when you end up in a hospital like that, every doctor on staff becomes your doctor. So she had 10 different doctors. 7 of the 10 doctors said this is not a viable pregnancy. And they told us that we needed to abort. We did not listen. Three doctors were willing to go along with it. And that's why all of you are here. Those 7 men and women that wanted to abort the pregnancy, they're not evil, terrible people. We can only win this battle with love. And we need to convince those people that they are not God and allow God to make the decision of what's about to happen. The laws were so backwards in the state that we were in that if our daughter was born without the help of a doctor and died, we needed a death certificate because that's life. But if the doctor would have performed an abortion, suddenly it's just a carcass and then there's no death certificate needed. How does that make logical sense? Well, we didn't listen and our daughter was born and then she had to fight a hole in her heart, E. coli, jaundice, and the only way you can understand how small she was, at 1 pound 4 ounces, after 3 weeks of my wife laying upside down in a bed, my wedding ring fit around her wrist, elbow, and shoulder, and hung from her armpit. 1 pound 4 ounces. All babies lose weight. She lost weight, went down to 14 ounces. I'm from Ohio, so I say pop, so you understand how small she was. She weighed 2 ounces more than a can of pop. If you don't mind, I want to tell you one more thing about her. They told us there was only a 20% chance she would make it without defects. And they told us there's just no reason to keep going. That 20% has now turned into 20 years old today. This is life. Now you know why I'm here. I love you, Vienna. Up next is the man that's been responsible to lead all of this, to get this started this year, and a dear friend of mine. He is the husband of Sharon, father of 6. Congratulations on that. And he's the coordinator of this event, ladies and gentlemen, Mike Phelan.
Good morning, Pro-Life Arizona. You know, Vienna and Jennifer and Doug's story is a great reminder, a concrete reminder of why we're all here today. And I want to thank you for being here today. We call this being a voice for the voiceless, and there is no more voiceless person than the person who is just inside of their mother's womb and who we know is there for 100 different reasons, from ultrasounds to a mother's feeling, to a family's understanding, to everything Doug just described about Vienna's life. And yet there's a problem. And the problem is there's no more dangerous place to be in the United States of America and in most of the West than in a mother's womb. We know this makes no sense. We also know that it's not going to change without a deep, deep commitment of generosity. A deep commitment of generosity, because our country has overcome a lot of civil rights problems over the years. We live in a great country, and we're grateful citizens for that, but there's a problem. And the problem is that the most vulnerable among us don't have a voice, and when you don't have a voice, you're not protected. So thank you for being here today, to be a voice for one of the 12,533 children who were aborted in 2017. Thank you for being here today. God bless you for being here. We know that Roe versus Wade has a short-term life. We don't know how short. Yes? There are other evil laws that were put forward by the Supreme Court in the history of our country, Dred Scott for one, that have fallen over the years. A lie can't stand, and Roe versus Wade will not stand forever. So we're here in anticipation of that day when our country will say, no more are we going to fail to protect unborn human life and all innocent human life. And when that law goes down, we've got to be a state, Arizona, that immediately protects life, right? So we've got to prepare for that day whenever it comes. Young people here, I'm praying that you see that day. I'm praying I see that day. But I'm praying that you see that day and that today you catch the fire of this cause, which is completely just. So let's catch the fire of this cause today. Are you ready to hear from Abby Johnson? Are you ready to hear from Ryan Baumberger of the Radiance Foundation? They're going to be at the end of this march. I'm going to explain a couple of more logistics, and then I'm going to hand it over to my friend Arturo, who will speak in Spanish briefly about logistics. So those of you that are here for the first time, we're going to march straight down Washington Street. The whole road is blocked off, and at the end of it is our state capitol. So it's kind of cool today that we're right in front of City Hall, Phoenix, and we're going to end up at the state capitol to be a voice. We're going to start that march here in about 8 minutes. I want to give a couple more logistics. So we're going to take Washington Street down. It's about 1.5 miles. Pay attention if that's a challenge for you, or pay attention to people around you for whom that might be a challenge. There is water at the end if you need water, if you didn't bring it. If you didn't, we've also got food trucks here that have it stationed for you. So carry water with you. It's a beautiful day, but you will dehydrate a little bit. We're going to go 1.5 miles to Wesley Bolin Plaza, which is the memorial center of our state, where all of the wars are memorialized. And today when you show up, you're going to see a wall of roses. Some of you are carrying roses to add to that wall. That wall is along the right side, and there's a rose, 12,533, which we'll placed on it today to represent every child we lost to abortion in 2017. It's going to be very beautiful. But this is not simply a solemn march. This is a march of celebration. So cheering, chanting, Roe v. Wade has got to go down the road is very appropriate. So I'm so glad that you're here. We're going to finish up with the rally at about 10 minutes to 2. And then logistics are yours for your way to get back to your vehicles and things like that. When you see somebody with a green t-shirt, a volunteer t-shirt, ask them any question and they should be able to answer it. Again, thank you for being here today. I want to thank the creator of the universe and of all of us for giving us life, and our moms for saying yes to it. Thanks, moms! Now here's my friend Arturo Villarreal from En Familia Radio to say a few words in Spanish.
¡Viva la vida! Muchas gracias a todos por estar aquí. Vamos a seguir las indicaciones que se han marcado para la logística. ¿Sí? Vamos a caminar sobre esta calle, sobre la misma Washington. Es aproximadamente 1,5 millas lo que vamos a caminar hasta llegar a los jardines frente al Capitolio. Hay que considerar que va a haber agua al final del recorrido. También hay agua todavía aquí en las loncheras que tenemos por acá, y allá al final va a haber una pared donde se van a estar colocando también las rosas que vamos a ver a lo largo del camino que traen algunos de nuestros hermanos. Muchísimas gracias. Tenemos que trabajar para que cada bebé que no tiene voz tenga voz en cada uno de nosotros. ¿Estamos dispuestos? Tenemos que seguir trabajando para que las leyes absurdas, las leyes que han acabado con la vida de tantos de nuestros hermanos, sean ya sucumbidas y se le diga fin al aborto. Ni un solo aborto más. Tenemos que trabajar para ello. Hay que orar, pero también hay que formar a nuestros hijos. Hay que formar a los futuros políticos. Y hay que hacer ver que ningún católico vota por ningún político que apoye el aborto. El católico vota por la vida. Si necesitan información, busquen a las personas que traen la camiseta verde, ellos pueden darles información y vamos a avanzar en aproximadamente 6 minutos sobre esta misma calle. 1,5 millas, tomen sus precauciones, es un precioso día, pero hay que permanecer bien hidratados. Muchísimas gracias. ¡Viva la vida! ¡Viva Cristo Rey! ¡Viva la Virgen de Guadalupe!
I love the line from Mike today, which was feel the fire. Every step you take, you're saving a life today. That's what I want you to think throughout this whole march. Every step you take, you're saving a life. As Mike said, City Hall, we got to start here. We end up down here in the front of the government of our state. And we want to be loud enough that Washington hears us as well. Because this does not stop unless we stop. And we're not going to stop today. And that's why we're here. And I want you to be ready, and I want you to be loud with any chant that you have that praises unborn babies and praises all of us for being here for the reason, for the voices. I hope you like our little stage. The reason why we have a little stage is because we're standing up for little voices. And that's why we're on a little stage. And if we're ready, let's count loud enough for Washington to hear us. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's roll!
We have an open one too. federal building.
What's the name of your YouTube channel?
My other stick, I see it real high.
Well, you're pretty tall, though.
I was hoping to get a view of like a drone flight.
That'd be nice.
You want that about you? Time to go. They called you right.